morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Oh, check.
7 a.m. on a Monday.
Ooh.
You get that note? Check 1 2 1 2.
Coming in hot.
All right, here we go. Welcome to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul Beee. He's Buddy the Guy. You all right over there?
Tired, boss.
Man, okay. Over there growling like a bear. Be okay? It is Monday, September the 8th, 2025. Thanks for joining us on this early Monday morning.
Man.
Appreciate you getting up early with us, chat chimers, ghost listeners, and everybody else for a fresh edition. It's happening. I already see people in the chat. Mama Guy saying, good morning, fam. Appreciate you. Judy Printer says, Monday is here. Do good.
Yes.
Okay. Mantra. Pops gives us a good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Mark Manor gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Arrows 402 is up saying good morning from Wheatland, Wyoming.
Okay.
We're doing some traveling.
Man, out there on the high road.
Moving. RG says morning, y'all. What's happening, man? Kimber Snipes early saying good morning, y'all. Appreciate you. Leia Keister says happy marvelous Monday.
Top of the morning to you.
Mama God says party hard on Monday AM. Funky sounds. Hey.
Okay.
Feeling that. I love it. I love it. I keep on getting good feedback. Hearing that beat and makes them shake a little bit. So that's what's up.
Man, a little tell fella.
RG said, Buddy sounded like he went to tacos and tequila instead of BC. We will definitely have to talk about Buddy's weekend and on the real.
Man.
So anyway, good morning. Definitely lots to talk about on this Monday morning. We love to definitely get the week started and talk about what we're going to get into during the week, what happened over the weekend. Lots of things that definitely went down, and we also definitely want to see what you did this weekend. Hear how your weekend went and what you got into. All the good stuff. There he is. Marlon Harrison says, good morning, First Sky family, and happy motivational Monday.
Hey.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I was reposting all of your interviews that you did, man. I was proud. I was like, look at Marlon with the microphone. That's what's up.
Man. Content creator alumni.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll be digging into a few things. I got to grab some of the screenshots because, yeah, I was proud to see the brother out there with the microphone, all that good stuff. It was good. It was good to realize that this is finally starting to spread a little bit. What's going on? You know what I mean?
Man, that's what it's about. So yeah, big shout out to all the content creators out there. Everybody, getting busy, man.
There he is. Cousin says, Alan Faison says, good morning, First Sky. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming on in.
Man.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, we are proponents of citizen journalism, and that's what we really are trying to push right now, because we kind of looked around and we were looking for some people to do some reporting to expand the news group in North Omaha. Really couldn't find anybody. Not a lot of black reporters that are representing and have ties to North Omaha. So early on this First Sky Omaha journey, we decided we had to grow some. So that's hence the content creator camp and all the things that we're doing. And so anybody and put this news gang together too. Anybody who has any inclination towards journalism, we're trying to nurture, trying to bring them into the fold, so we can get some more voices out here. So just wanted to reiterate that. A lot of our chat chimers and people that listen to us know that, but a lot of you don't. So definitely want to remind everybody like what we're on. If you have any inclination at all to be a journalist, to do some writing, if you have a certain beat that you're all about, certain industry that you are privy to and want to report on, talk to us. Let us know. Hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. So yeah, gotta get busy with it. Marlon's reporting on the weather right now. I said this weather finally caught up to me, and I'm laying in bed sick today. Oh man.
Get well soon.
Sorry to hear that, man. It has been going around. I've been feeling that weather change has definitely drummed up some people getting some flus and some cold season, all this stuff popping up right now. So it's been going around, man.
Yeah, it do it to you. Also, man, Marlon been moving around, kind of man on the town. So make sure you're balancing the rest and things when you're moving around as much as Marlon has.
Yeah, I wish the program wasn't tripping right now so I could show these photos. But
Oh man,
yeah, we'll figure it out. We gotta show Marlon about town with the microphone. I love it.
yeah. Tech is taking on the Monday. I see.
Oh yeah, always. But we're here, and you guys are here too. Shout out to Tamika Johnson who's in the chat. Appreciate you.
Hey,
Pop says I was proud of you two killing that Omaha Days pop quiz video.
okay,
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
okay,
yo, he watched that. I was pretty
yeah.
impressed with myself. I was like, how did I know all this? I must have been here a while. No.
Yeah, but yeah, big shout out to Marlon. He kind of did that on his own. I thought that was a part of some of the organizations asking him to do that. As again, they had many content creators and journalists and videographers out there capturing content, but Marlon was out there on his content creator tip on his own, man. Kind of rogue, but yeah, big shout out to Marlon. Love seeing
Or G said Marlon got that. Marlon got that free dinner plate flu.
that.
That's hilarious. Once again, a fresh edition is happening now. We got special guests coming in today. Of course,
Yeah,
today is Senator Cypher, and we'll be catching up with Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Ashlei Spivey, and we can talk to them about maybe some of them 100 laws that just got passed.
man,
Uh,
still working my way through them. Still
I,
working my way.
I feel like I ain't even scratching the surface every time I look at that page, man.
Yeah, and keep on scrolling. It's just like, yeah,
Trying to do the research on that stuff. It's a trip. It's a real trip. So we'll be talking to them. Get your questions ready. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate them coming every other week
yeah,
to dive in and see what's happening. We're also talking about having some other senators on in between the weeks as well. So be looking out for that. I can't wait to speak to what was the senator out in Bellevue's name we talked to already?
Brother Roundtree.
Brother Roundtree. Want to talk to him? Definitely. Also, Marco Juarez is in the chat. Is in the news right now, so we'll be talking about what's going on with her. She's over there in South Omaha. I'd love to talk to her. We met her at a 180 Rap 10-year anniversary, and she said she listened to the show. I was like, "Thank you, Senator Juarez. Appreciate you."
Yeah,
So yeah, we'll be asking some other senators to come on. If you have senators in your district that we haven't talked to yet, let us know, and we'll reach out to them too. For sure. Kimmer Snipes in the chat says, I've been working my way through those laws as well, buddy. Maybe we should compare notes.
man. Okay, it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot. Maybe drop a few that jump out to you in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Love to hear about it. She also says, please ask the senators about the intern studies they have in right now. They
Okay,
have in right now. Yeah. Yeah. We'll definitely talk to them about that for sure.
yeah,
Appreciate that. Also, while we're talking about that, Kimmer's got something coming up as well.
man. All right, yeah,
Trying to see
yeah.
if this thing is gonna work for me. Let me see if it's gonna
Tis the
work for me.
season.
Come on.
While you pull that up, I also want to acknowledge another comment she made. She says there's an Omaha Public Schools budget hearing tonight at 5 p.m. at the TAC building. It is open to the public. So again, tonight at 5 p.m. at the TAC, that's on Cumming Street. Again, it is open to the public about that budget, man. Trying to figure out what's going on. Actually, we kind of early preview. We will be getting into a little education conversation today. Speaking to Senator Margot Juarez. Again, she's as you mentioned, she's in the news about some education things. Cameron, I know you're asking about some education coverage. Again, teachers being burnt out. Shout out to Marlon for sharing that
For sure.
as well. So yeah, definitely would love to speak to Senator Juarez if we can.
Yeah, we'll definitely ask her. In the meantime, we'll jump into a little bit of some top headlines, and one of my top headlines right now is the big party that Kimra's been putting up. I don't know if you wanted this in the public, but we're gonna put it up there anyway.
Man,
Because you got the big 50, and I'm not gonna let this one pass by. Yeah, I felt what happened when mine passed by. I was like, wait a minute, forgot that's a milestone. So
hey,
milestone happening, man. Shout out to Kimra Snipes joining the 50 Club. She's gonna celebrate for 3 days, 3 parties.
okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I just wanted to first of all say, yeah, congratulations on coming up on this. I'm glad to see you doing it big. Let us know more about these parties as well. Our own Kimra Snipes. That's what's up. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Pop says happy 50th birthday to Sister Kimra. There you go. The birthday bash, RJ says. Man, you guys already heard about it. That's what's up. I also want to give a shout out to Mark Matterman and Homers. Get your vinyl right. Get your record collection right for real. They had a whole post on the legend Calvin Keys,
Man,
which I really appreciated a lot. I was just like, wow, they did it. They did it big. They did it up. So appreciate that very much, man. And if you haven't checked out who Calvin Keys is, definitely check that out. Go to Homer's page and read what was said. Shout out to Mark Manor and really highlighting this, man. Omaha's own Calvin Keys, legend. Look at all this work, this body of work this cat got.
man,
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago. Mentor, friend of mine, and that was a tough one. That was a tough one. So I'm glad to see that he's still being celebrated, and it's what happens when you got the coolest record store in town.
record store,
Shout out to Homers, man. Get your records right. Get your
man.
final right.
And that's not even it all. I mean, you got the latest entry with Terrace, man. That's a cold project right there.
Seriously, man. Seriously, big time. So yeah, I just want to give a little props to that. Definitely shout out here. I finally got a picture up of Marlon, man,
Hey,
about town, the man about town.
yeah,
Bro, he brought his own microphone, bro. He brought his own.
man.
And I messed up and tried to grab it, and he was just like, "Yeah, don't touch the mic."
Man, as a pro, that was a proud moment for me, man. That was a real proud moment. Never let him take your mic. Never let him take the mic, Marlon. Get to talking crazy, it's over. Never let him take the mic.
He says, "This is my show. You ain't taking over my show."
He also says he was originally going to try to put them all together in one video, but he says it's taking forever and a day to edit. Now, hey, tell us about it. Tell us about it. And he says I just posted them on Facebook without editing them. I'm appreciating that you just put them out, man. Yeah. Thank you for that. And yeah.
Speaking of edits,
man.
Speaking of edits taking too long. Lanes of Change will be dropping here. Lanes of Change will be dropping here very soon. Especially the first couple ones are a conversation with Mary Ewing, who's also in the news.
Yeah, man.
We'll be talking about him as well. But look out for Lanes of Change dropping soon, and some other projects that we got coming as well. But yeah, these are definitely some things happening. And also, Fun Fest is happening. Registration is going to be open up today. And we'll get that together and put that on Friends of First Sky Omaha. We'll actually put it on the First Sky Omaha main page as well.
Yeah,
and be looking out for some invites for that. This is kind of a gathering of people who are doing news in the vein that we're doing it, and also in mainstream news and some other things. So it'll be held at the Press Club on October 18th. And yeah, we'll definitely be talking about this as it happens. But that's some of the things that we got going on. Also, don't forget a fresh edition of Swing Left Nebraska podcast is dropped. And they'll be talking to John Kavanaugh for Congress, which is really interesting with what just happened in the mayor's office here with his endorsement. There's the race is heating up a little bit. So I'm happy to see that Swing Left Nebraska is going to be speaking to John Kavanaugh about, and also they already spoke to some of the other candidates running in this race in previous episodes. So wherever you get your podcast, definitely go check it out. Shout out to Leah Keister, shout out to Swing Left Nebraska, and diving deep into our interesting unicamera. Lots of stuff going on in the chat here. Oh, Mark Mann said going fancy. We trying to go fancy a little bit.
Pinkies up. Yeah, get your good suit out.
Get the Morris Day jacket going. Pinky high to the sky.
Yes, sir.
Kimmer Snipe says, my people forced me to put something together because I was about to let it pass. I did the same thing, Kimmer. I did the same thing, and it really enforced, like, if it's not me putting something together in my circle, then it probably won't happen. So I'm glad that you took people's advice and went ahead and started putting something together for yourself, because it's a milestone. I do regret not really passing my milestone by a little bit low key. So I'm glad to see you doing it big. I'll definitely support that. Linda Lathan in the chat. Good morning. What's going on, First Sky fam? What's happening? Also, Kimmer says 388 is dealing with judges. You talking about some of those laws?
Yeah, she's been dropping them in here and there. She also earlier said 704 is about child support, which I was looking at as well. So yeah, we'll be kind of going through those a little bit throughout the show.
Gotta go through that.
Man, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is, man. 100 laws passed. It just shows you never know how much is going on, how much they're actually doing in the legislature, and everything that has to be voted on, everything that has to be negotiated. I mean, it's kind of wild, but we'll be talking to the senators about it shortly, so stay tuned. Senator Cypher is coming this episode. Senator Ashlei Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney, put some respect on their names. Lots to talk about today with them. And anything that's on your hearts and minds as far as top headline, or actually, I shouldn't have put top headlines. I should have put community updates. That's what I was trying to do.
He tired,
Community updates.
boss. He
Yeah,
tired.
tired, boss. I'll admit it, man. I had a little rough sleep this weekend. For those of you that already know, I had a death in the family this week, and it's been real tough on the fam and real tough on everybody. So haven't been sleeping well. I didn't really even know if I was going to be able to do the show this morning. So
Really?
yeah, man, yeah. It's grief kind of comes in waves. This is my uncle, so it was it's a tough one. It's a tough one. So rest in peace, Victor Bass, and and we're not done. This the family. I'm in town because of family, and this one of those situations where because I am who I am and I'm at the age that I am, and a lot of the family are getting or elderly now. There's a lot I'm gonna have to take care of when it comes to this. So this is not over for me. It won't be over for a while, and so I'm just grateful that I'm in town and am able to help, and even if it is tough. So,
Man, it's yeah, life.
so
Thank you for sharing that. Though I wasn't, too sure if you wanted to or how much you wanted to get into it.
yeah. So I would just to finish that out, I just want to say, just bear with me. Is a matter of fact, there's some things I need to take care of on Wednesday, so we will be pausing the show. No show on Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday. And yeah, just kind of wanted to. I put it out to the fam. Speaking to the fam. The fam's here. People have seen my posts. I wonder what's going on. So yeah, so I'm a little tired. Spirits are down, but we're here and we got some other things to do and talk about. And I got it together over the weekend enough to be able to be like, all right, let's get back to it, because it really does help to be here with the fam and have some
Man,
discussions with you, get our minds straight about other things that are going on in our world, and be able to connect about it. The community and the connection is what brings the longevity in life. So this is what we got here, and I appreciate y'all.
man. Hey, we all we got, but that's enough, man. And again, I appreciate your transparency and all that, and take as much time as you need.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that very much. Before I jump over to Buddy, because I need to talk about your weekend, so I can. Anthony Rogers Ryder saying, "Good afternoon from the motherland." Yeah,
Hey,
African youth
okay,
ready to take over the world, man. Hey, African youth.
man.
We've been talking about it. What's the percentage of people under 20 and under 30 in Africa? A workforce like no other in the world right now, ready to take it over. I appreciate that. Appreciate that comment, man. I can't wait to hear about your travels, for real. For real, for real. Also, Mark Manor is talking about a show tonight, The Slowdown. This is Marcy H, his kickoff tour. We talked about that when he came on the show Friday. He's getting ready to go on tour, and tonight is the kickoff. This is at the Slowdown. You know where the Slowdown is, North Downtown. Also, Jay Crumb, Eddie North, and JC is going to be there. It's going to be a killer show.
Man,
Real, to be real. Yeah, killer show. So I appreciate the reminder there, Brother Manor. And yeah, I appreciate your condolences as well. Same here, Sean McCarthy. Appreciate that. And good morning to you. Yeah, appreciate that very much. RG said, "Beezy, I believe I went to Metro, took some IT classes with your uncle 15 years ago. Sorry for your loss, bro." Oh man,
man,
your brother
man.
Vic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate that. Heather Williams is giving me some condolences as well. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys very much, and Kimber Snipes too. Sending prayers. Thank you, thank you. Right on. We'll get into it. We'll move on. Like I said, special guest today. Shout out. Lots going. Man, I feel better already. Just lots going on. With what you, buddy, this weekend. We'll talk about what happened with you, but also
Yeah, man.
just checking in with the fam, knowing what's going on with me, and also hearing about some of the good stuff that's going on over the weekend too. Hearing about reminding myself about Marcy Yates going on tour. I think that's significant. What he's doing for the city right now musically is huge, and really encouraged about a lot that's going on here. We really have built a community, and I really appreciate y'all.
Man, and I'll pick it up right there if you don't mind,
Please.
because that's what it's about, man. And really, I was actually having this thought on Friday. Like this show is interesting. We didn't really have a full idea what it is that we were doing when we started on this. This is something that is morphed, and you all have watched this morph real time. And a big part of this being a conversation and a live conversation, like y'all see us wake up, our first word sometime is what we're saying here on the show. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like a lot of times, our first thoughts, our first just start of the day is with y'all, and it's live and it's raw. And you know, beyond just the conversations that we're having here, what we're all witnessing is the human experience. You know, we cry, we laugh, we get angry, we get happy, we get inspired. The full spectrum of the human experience is witnessed on this show, and we all, you know, kind of go through it together. And which kind of makes the conversation what it is. You know, when I'm reading these stories and I'm going through and I'm seeing the news, I'm thinking of conversations I'm having with my mom. I'm thinking of, you know, Mayor Sanchez and his wife at home. I'm thinking of your sister who's a teacher, which we'll be talking about later on. You know, I'm thinking of, you know, Cameron Snipes, and I'm thinking of all of you, you know, in various degrees. When I'm seeing these stories, I'm seeing all of us. So you know, man, just sharing that thought. I guess I kind of lost my point. But you know, that's that. I guess that is the point. You know, that's what all this. That's what this, you know, show has morphed into. That's what it is, and that's what it's going to be. And that's what makes, you know, these conversations important. While we're trying to figure out what is going on in our community, so we can, you know, spread that to you, so you can make the best decisions, and we can all flourish and fly.
I
First
love
sky.
it. I love it. I love it. First guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
7:21. If you believe in the concept of time, I appreciate you saying that, buddy. Buddy, you do have to tell us about what happened over the weekend with you, though. Super inspiring. Let's just give
Yeah.
them a hint about the scene.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was kind of a lot. I'm still just kind of floating off of it. But if you remember on Friday, I had mentioned that I was promoting an artist. Again, I'm in Atlanta, as you see, because I'm in the music industry. I work at Stingling Studios. I'm a DJ. That's kind of, you know, outside of my first guy activities. That's what my life consists of when I'm not on daddy duty. But yeah, so I'm working with an artist right now, and we were at a DJ retreat over the weekend. So ran into a lot of record executives out there rubbing elbows, but ran into, you know, a couple Omaha's own, man. Shout out to my man Rip. Again, ran into him a couple times actually. Yeah. If you don't know about Rip, OG Radiohead in Omaha, but also a big wig in the music industry in his own right. If you remember, I ran into KRS-One. That was because of Rip. So yeah, definitely moving along. But man, beyond that, was in the studio when it's one of the most legendary studio sessions I've ever been in. Yeah, just to name a few, man. Big Boy, Killer Mike, Ti, Young Dro, yeah, all yeah, it was yeah.
Legendary music sessions.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But the point is, you know, this world and this thing is accessible for Omaha artists. And I did want to mention that earlier, beyond the news aspect of what it is that we do. Um, you know, First Guy Omaha isn't just a news company. We're a media company that uses news to do some of the things that we want to do. But beyond elevating the voices of, you know, local and black journalists, musicians as well. That is, you know, also a part of my being here in Omaha or in Atlanta, building a bridge and wanting to support, you know, musicians, black artists, black voices, and you know, the love warrior aspect of what it is that we do here as well. So again, man, First Guy Omaha, we're growing. It's coming. So again, support. You can support us by, you know, supporting the artist. Make sure you check out my man Marcy Yates later on. And yeah, we're gonna keep this thing moving.
That's what's up. Appreciate you. Right on. Again, 7:24 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're just joining us, it is Monday, and that means Senator Cypher is happening today. We're anticipating Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Ashlei Spivey very soon. We're diving in, excuse me, into a few things that we want to talk about before we get too far into it too. Just want to give a shout out to Brother Kasim, who had a great post about the Urban Survival Club Omaha that just went down. If you haven't been over there to check out the Omaha Survival Club page to see the kids out there in the field, man, hit that up. Hit Brother Kasim's page up. I was trying to pull some photos up of it, but tech is teching today, so I'll figure out if I can show you a few from that. But there's still program information here. I'm going to put this program information in the chat for you to be able to click on and learn more about it. But man, shout out. They shouted us out for trying to help support that situation as well. Urban Survival Club. They had twice as many people, twice as many kids sign up this time.
Yeah.
And they had them. It was a beautiful thing to see them kids out there walking in the woods. Senator Terrell McKinney was out there too, man. Yeah, out there as a coach. So we'll be talking to him about that when he comes on as well. But shout out to Brother Kasim, Black Agenda Alliance, the Urban Survival Club Omaha. and every other organization out there associated with Black Agenda Alliance that's doing this really boots to the roots with these kids in a big way. So shout out to them. And yeah, shout out to all of you. Appreciate everybody coming in. Do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook, especially. And also send the link to somebody if you're on YouTube. Like and subscribe when you're over there. Let's try to get as many voices in as we can, as many people who you think might be might benefit from this conversation in this community. Let them know. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys who have done that already. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on in today's thread. Buddy, what's on your mind today as far as news is concerned?
Yeah, well, it's the Senator Cypher, man. We kicking it off with our senators. Again, shout out to Senator Terrell, McKinney, and Ashlei Spivey for always taking the time out of their busy lives and schedules to speak with us and give us just a glimpse, just some insight into what's going on with our legislature and how the laws are forming in our state. Because again, it happens. It's a lot to go through, and it's a lot that's always going on. Not just the when we're in session and some of the politics, if you will, that goes down during that. But as Kimra reminded us earlier about the interim studies and the conversations that go on in between the sessions and kind of how the work never ends. So big shout out to the senators for that. Of course, as we've been mentioning, we will be getting into the 100 laws that dropped on our heads. Kind of, if you remember, feels like when the grand jury swept those 13 cases all in one. Man, like how can you be thorough in this? So again, if anybody's wondering, again, all of these laws are in effect and will now be impacting our lives. As Cameron pointed out, a lot of areas being impacted. If you're on child support, you might want to look out. If you're looking for a barber's license, you might want to look out. Again, it's a lot of things going on. So we'll be talking about that. Also, some of the higher heavy topics we've been talking about. A shout out to Paul Philman, still applying pressure on the governor out there on the governor's lawn, protesting the ICE situation, the Cornhusker Clink, as they're calling it. And more information coming out. Actually, WWT has a report on some of the nonprofit activities that have been going on. Apparently, those detainees still getting services, much needed services, and actually a glimpse into what's going on. Actually, not many criminals as they have been promoting. So we'll be talking about that. Also, speaking of criminals, we definitely have to talk about what's going on with our youth, as you know, a big part of this whole move from Trump and this whole rhetoric really across the country about this tough on crime and what's going on with our youth, especially urban youth and Black and brown youth in our inner cities. Education. It starts with the education. It starts with home. Again, another side of the conversation. Marco Juarez kind of putting a glimpse out there through the Omaha or Nebraska Examiner about burnout for teachers. And again, one of the big things that teachers are saying about burnout, aside from the pay, which we'll talk about, is also student behavior. So again, what's going on with our students, what's really happening in the classrooms. And yeah, again, of course, Senator McKinney always has a lot to say about the education system, so love to dive into that with him. But also looking at what's going on as development. This is Spaces is Places season, looking at the growing situation in the Inland Port Authority. Shout out to my man Gary Clark, which a lot of you have shouted out here in the chat. He's actually leading the helm over there again at the Inland Port Authority. Hundreds of millions of dollars. What are they doing with it? We'll get to the bottom of it. Again, Spaces and Places is the season. Buddy the God, Paul, Beee, First Guy, all of you. What's the word?
Yeah, there you go. There's today's thread. If you have anything to add, definitely get ready to chime into the chat. Also, just wanted to shout out and thank everybody who put stuff in Friends of First Guy Omaha, kind of shaping what's going on as well. And I will definitely talk about it. While we have some of the people here in the chat that come on early and kind of take off, I just wanted to mention just about this endorsement that Mary Ewing is doing as well. Yeah, with Crystal Rhodes, and we didn't want to speak too much about it. I just know that a lot of people chimed up in the chat about Crystal Rhodes, and so thought that it might be some news, might be something in our community that our mayor John Ewing endorsed her for this situation as well. As you can, there's a lot of people running. We talked a little bit earlier. John Kavanaugh is one of the people that are running for this seat. This is the seat that will replace Bacon, and Swing Left Nebraska is going to be talking to John Kavanaugh, or is it?
Yeah, it's John.
John or Steven? I can't remember. John. Okay, cool. And so, yeah, so there's other people that are in this race as well. and might be something to discuss too. So we'll leave it up to you. People in the chat have said a lot on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and I want to hear from you on that. Even though we won't get too far into it, we just kind of want to hear what your thoughts are on our mayor's endorsement. Well, there you go. Kimber says, I can't believe he's endorsing anybody in that race.
Okay.
Yeah. So it might be a little bit to talk about there too, but we'll do all that on the other side of the break. It's already 7:30 right now, if you believe in the concept of time.
Man.
I'm less and less believing in this concept of time. I'll tell you what.
Man, don't get me started on that, man.
I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, actually an ex-girlfriend of mine from when I was like 17. And she was like, yeah, my kids are 32, got babies, I got grandkids. I'm like, what? Like, I just saw you yesterday. What are you talking about? Time. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beee, buddy to God. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beee, buddy to God. All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, appreciate you coming in. It is Monday, September the 8th, 2025. And as you well know, it is Senator Cypher Day today.
Yeah, man.
We already got a senator waiting in the wings. We'll go ahead and bring him in without further ado. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Terrell McKinney in the house. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Try to point that laptop down a little bit on you. Hanging at the bottom there.
Point it down. All right.
Yeah, all up in your nose.
Get you in the frame a little bit.
All up in your nose.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome. Appreciate you joining us this morning, man. If it feels like a super early morning to me, how you feeling this morning?
I'm good, bro. Got to get ready to go on another trip, but I'm
okay.
Great.
Where you going?
Yeah. I'm going to San Jose for a wireless, like, I wouldn't call it a conference, but it's like a meeting necessarily to look at like what's going on in the digital world and, you know, some other senators that'll be out there from across the country.
Okay.
Man, I always find that fascinating about, like, you know, being a senator, like how much you kind of have to be tapped into, how many different things you got to have your fingers on, and just a pulse of what's going on, you know, in other parts of the world, not just as much as you know, your own constituency in your own backyard and your own locale. Man, yeah, always traveling, man. Is there something in particular that kind of piqued your interest on that? Sister Kimmer actually asked us about interim studies earlier. Is that a part of a study that you're looking into, or just something that you're just interested in?
No, it's not a study. It's more so something I'm interested in, or just, you know, stay tapped into what's going on and trying to see, like, is there something from a policy perspective that is going on that I'm not aware of that I could try to address in the state. That's why I go to try to see what's going on. So, you know,
man.
to try to stay ahead of things.
Man, dope.
I've always appreciated that about you. You know, we our kind of journalism over here we ascribe to is called solutions journalism, and that has everything to do with you going to another place and see how somebody else is doing it and try to bring back the good solutions back to your home state. So I've seen you do that all throughout your time as a senator, and you've always coming back with these good ideas. That it's obvious that your broad way of you being able to think about how to tackle some things comes from your travels, your cloud hopping, and your moving around, and you're talking to other folks. Another thing that struck me too is that because we're friends, and because you on here, you know, the being a senator feels real accessible. It's more than it ever has in my life, just from knowing you. I was watching something on TV the other day. They were like, "Well, somebody kidnapped the senator," and I just thought, I forgot about how big, the idea of
Man,
but you really made it accessible, and you really have been showing people how to do it. So just as important as what you have to say, I appreciate that you're doing some cloud hopping. You bringing that information back. I think a lot of senators could follow your lead and go see something somewhere else and bring it back and try to figure some things out. So appreciate you with that.
man, I mean,
No
this kind of
problem.
speaks to, when we first met the brother, he had the power to the people, like, and blazing everywhere. And, it you see the fruit when you're really a man of the people. I think back to you walking the streets of Omaha days, right in the thick of everybody just chilling. You know what I mean? And you blended in, a part of the people, and not really flexing, the actual height of your station, which is appreciated because it can go to a lot of heads, as you see.
For sure.
Speaking of having boots to the roots and being amongst the people as well, I definitely saw a picture of you out there with the Urban Survival Club with the kids
Man,
recently too, man. I was surprised to see you out there. I'm not surprised, but I was just like, hey, that's what's up. He's out there with the kids as well. Finally got that picture up. So shout out to Urban Survival Club Omaha. Shout out to you donating some of your time to help these babies just be out in the woods, man. Like just seeing them walking in the woods is like just refreshing enough to be like, okay, kids in nature. It's such an anomaly these days. It's like a big deal if they're just in nature. You know what I'm saying? Like alone.
Right.
So can you tell us about that experience a little bit?
It was cool. Kasim always been trying to get me to get out there, but it just hasn't worked out. So this Saturday, luckily, I had nothing to do, and I was like, I'm gonna go out there and walk with them. It
that's
was a
your
good
first time.
experience. Yeah, that was my first time walking with them on a hike, but it was cool. The kids were hilarious the whole time. They was talking, cracking jokes. It was cool. I woke up the next day, my legs was definitely hurting, but it's cool. It
Yeah,
was for a good cause.
you out there
Uh,
chopping trees and stuff, using muscles you ain't used in a while.
right.
Brother Kasim gonna put you to work. You already know that. You already know.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
okay, beautiful, beautiful. Big shout out to Brother Kasim. Putting that together.
Did you get anything, any other fun things in on the weekend? Over the weekend?
Mm, no, not really. I really
Yeah,
didn't do too much else this weekend. I watched the game on Saturday. Yesterday, I really didn't do too much. Uh, yeah,
yeah. I guess we got to mention that, man. Huskers kind of blew them out, didn't they?
yeah, yeah, that was good to see. I want, I want everybody to just relax, you know, cause I'm a diehard, and I really, you know, been through the years of like we'll blow like they're like contrary to popular belief, they have won championships in my lifetime and been to championships in my lifetime. And they've had good seasons and blew people out. So I'm like, man, just chill. Cause, we need to get through this game this week. If we beat Michigan, I might have different energy.
Okay.
But currently, just chill.
Yeah.
Let's get through it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a
Underdog
long
Cowboys
it's
fans.
it's a long season.
I saw a whole article. They were like, Nebraskans felt this nostalgia at this score from back in the day, back in their glory days. They living it up.
Trying to bring you back. Trying to bring you back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. Marlon Harrison said, "What did you think of your video? You was out there getting interviewed by Marlon Harrison too, which is a content creator camp alumni, friend of First Sky Omaha. We did not send him to do this. This is one he did on his own when he was out there doing his questions and stuff like that at the Chad Chalmers Kickback. Did you get a chance to see your interview with him?
Yeah, I did. It was good. It was good. It brought back a little frustrating memories because I think that was the Sunday of the Omaha days.
It
I
was.
believe so. Yeah, it
It
was
was.
good though.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that context. It sure was. Yeah, earlier that day when he was doing them interviews, he was having a great time, and then later on that night, some mess went down. But
Yeah,
yeah, I appreciate that. Well, again, I'm proud of you, Marlon. Again, we're really proud of you, man. This is what we need. We need more Black folks out asking questions, talking, doing interviews. Bringing the community together is what you did with that. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. For
sure.
sure. Yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into it as far as the legislation. When does the session start? When?
We'll go back to session to January.
Oh,
So
okay.
Right.
So
yeah, we out.
Man, so I mentioned it. Are there any studies that you're into right now?
The probably most recent one is LR 148 that I'm doing to, look at the building code situation in McCook
Right.
uh, with the ICE detention facility. I'm 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 scheduling some other interim study hearings as well for the Urban Affairs Committee, poverty elimination action plan, looking at what the city and Lincoln is doing, affordable housing, some other things around neighborhood engagement and those type of things. Those probably be in October, November, more than likely.
Okay. And I do want to dive more into this McCook situation, but just in interim studies in general, when they are in full swing, how can the public, is it input that the public can get involved in, or what level can the people help you out?
People could come and, express their opinions on the study. It's kind of interim studies are sort of open-ended. It's really for information gathering. So if you have some information or if you have opinion on something, always feel free to submit a comment, or if you can, come testify. We're gonna try to do at least one interim study, like one day interim study hearings here in Omaha. So be on the lookout for that, but you could come out and testify and give your opinion, or if you just want to sit in the room and listen. But interim studies are more so information gathering, and then once you get the information, you see, what you could do from a legislative perspective, and usually a bill or something comes out of it.
There you go.
I actually learned a little bit about this from our partner Amy Holmes over there at what's it, Heart Ministry
Mhm.
Center. She was talking about an interim study that she was trying to put together, and I kind of learned that's something that we can do. We always talk about what can we do as far as helping with the legislature, not just showing up to bills to fight them or to endorse them, but there's stuff that you can do off season too. Anybody really can put an interim study together and present it to you or present it to a senator. From what I understand, Kimra has been the latest one to do this, and in the chat right now, she's saying, I met with a researcher from the Urban Institute who's following the interim study I introduced through the senator. She couldn't believe how accessible Terrell was. She was really impressed. She said, ain't no way that was happening in DC.
Man.
So yeah, so I appreciate that nice endorsement there, and also that we have a friend of First Sky Omaha that's just working on some of these interim studies and working with you guys on them. So this is something that's intriguing to me. Like I said, I just kind of learned about them. I'm definitely like, as much as I'd be writing, there's some things that I probably could do some help with some research or do something on some of these interim studies, and I'm sure that a lot of the chat chimers would be able to do that as well. Any other studies that you're working with besides the one with Miss Snipes?
I do have one looking at LB50 implementation by the Department of Punitive Services. I'm not sure when that hearing is going to be, um, but that's an important one as well because it deals with LB50, and the department has, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, been implemented horribly wrong, and it's causing people to still be stuck in prison, although we got a overcrowding crisis. So trying to look into that as well, but I'm sure they're not happy with me right now. So it is what it is.
Hey, hey, hey.
Bro,
Some
when are they
people,
ever happy with you, bro?
right,
When,
right, right. Some people say if you're not making enemies, you're not doing something. You're not doing it right. So hey, hey, hey.
Yeah.
that's what's
It
up.
is what it is. Speaking of overcrowding, though, let's get into the McCook of it all.
Mhm.
How where are we now in that situation? I know it's now several attempts to address the governor and get some kind of answers. Have you gotten your questions answered, or are you still kind of hanging in the wind?
Uh, I would say, I mean, they've answered questions very generic. It's still a lot of unanswered questions about that situation. They had a brief with the Judiciary Committee, but I wasn't there. I was actually out of town for another trip, and they had just scheduled it weirdly, and I really wasn't feeling a private briefing. Like, why can't this be public
Mm,
if you don't got nothing to hide anyway? So that's another reason why we're having a hearing, to just get a better understanding of what's going on. Because and a lot of people are frustrated, they're like, oh, you're doing political theater, or you're doing a stunt. And to me, it's
hmm
not a stunt, honestly. Like, when you look at the rules, you look at the jurisdiction of the committee and the legislature. Number one, constitutionally, the legislature has authority over the prisons. Like we could tell the Department of Corrections tomorrow they can't run the prisons no more if we wanted to.
Mm,
So, and then when I look at the Urban Affairs Committee, we have purview over building codes and those type of things. And if you're going to propose to, turn a prison into a detention facility and increase the capacity, that presents issues, especially with, housing people. So that's why I did it. And I could. And, some of my colleagues don't like it, but I told them maybe you should just go read the rules. And what we can and can't do. Don't be mad at me, be mad at the rules that are set. But I'm hoping, at minimum, we get some better answers, some better understanding of what our state is preparing to do. What we do know currently is it wasn't Trump or, the Department of Homeland Security that reached out to Nebraska. It was Nebraska that reached out to them
Mm.
trying to help Trump with this immigration stuff.
mm.
Which is very interesting.
It is. It is.
So and also, there's no understanding on how compensation will work. So I'm assuming that the state is going to foot the bill for this, and the taxpayers are going to pay for it as much as they say they're not, but it's more than likely going to happen. Look at what's going on in Florida with alligator Alcatraz. It's still a lot of unanswered questions. Liability, compensation. Who's going to operate it? How will it operate? It's just too much. And in my opinion, I feel like the public should have an opportunity to hear what's being proposed and what's going to happen, but also have an opportunity to express their feelings on the situation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. Yeah. To just call the just wanting answers to call that political theater is kind of telling.
Yeah,
But beyond the McCook situation, before we even get to that, there are already individuals being detained in the state of Nebraska currently in Lincoln right
Mhm.
now. Can you kind of speak to that situation? Have you reached out or spoken to anyone there?
and
Oh,
before we get into that, let me go ahead and bring in Senator Ashlei Spivey. Put some respect on her name. She's waiting in the wings, ladies and gentlemen. Well, psych.
Are you saying ICE detainees in Lincoln?
yes, yes, yes.
There she is.
Uh,
There she is. Good morning. Good morning,
I
Senator
know
Spivey.
some of them have been, starting to get released. I haven't honestly worked on it too much because it's been just a whirlwind of things
Mm,
going on. Because the,
okay.
the the prison has been, damaged, and it that's been messing up people's lives, and it all intersects though because at the end of the day, there's people sitting at NSP waiting to go to McCook so they can start transitioning out. Now, if you shut down McCook, how are they going to transition out of NSP? It's just
Yeah,
still it's so many questions,
yeah.
and it all intersects each other though.
Big
Good
time. Big
morning,
time.
sis.
Hey, bro. Good morning, y'all. Sorry I'm late. It's
Oh,
my
That's
no.
all
life.
right. That's all right. Thank you for joining as always. Just a pleasure to have you. Period. How are you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just getting ready for the week. It's a Monday.
Yeah, yeah. It's Monday for us
Monday
all.
is Monday, and for real.
Man,
How
man.
y'all doing?
We all right. We all right. In the thick of it, just trying to figure it out. As we all are, as we all are. And I'm guessing, I kind of join you in right there, talking about the McCook situation,
Yeah.
and speaking of figuring it out, you all trying to get some answers as to what's going on. Senator McKinney kind of gave his spiel on it. Do you have any more questions? Do you feel like where are you in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really lockstep with Senator McKinney on where he is in like his leadership. Because for one, it's a lot for me to learn, right? So I've come into the body really trying to understand the inner workings of the agency and department, which sometimes I think is inaccessible on purpose.
Mm,
And so really following his leadership, and I'm so thankful for the hearing that will be this Friday, and just his approach to thinking about how do we have accountability with folks who are not willing to give answers and to be transparent. And so I think, we all have been kind of talking about what is our role, what is our strategy, how do we look at that? And so I'm looking forward to the hearing on Friday, and then just continuing to try to create some accountability.
Man, and furthermore, beyond that, I was also asking about the Lincoln. It was actually Lincoln County Detention Center,
Yeah.
where most of these now ICE detainees are being held before McCook even opens. And I'm looking for the post. Actually, this is a repost from council person, county councilman Roger Garcia. Excuse me. Speaking about the ICE detention facility in Nebraska, he says in partnership with Governor Pillen. He kind of speaks about the women there, saying that 70% the detainees across the entire nation don't have criminal records. Have you heard any more about what's going on at the Lincoln Detention Center and where the people are being held right now?
No, there was a news article that just came out around that. And so just from the news article, but I think in general, this goes back to my comments and perspective like 2 weeks ago. I think we talked about it. Like there is a urgency, a sense of urgency, it feels like, because of the immigration issues and like the detention, which I can understand. And we have been in a carceral crisis. And so if folks would have leaned in, as we've been talking about incarceration and what does that mean, especially around Black bodies, it's the same playbook that they're doing now for other populations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think people have to be really engaged across the spectrum around addressing incarceration, racial profiling, navigating poverty and housing, right? Like all of these things, because it lends itself to the same issues. They're just picking a different group now to try to oppress in a different way. So I'm hopeful that now, like with Commissioner Garcia and his work around the ICE detention facility, that like we can continue to address what's going on. So
yeah, that article that you mentioned definitely had a lot to say about the fact that they were going to be detaining people indefinitely, and they gave a little update on some of the activity there. So I was
well,
actually
and ACLU just won a lawsuit too. They had a client that was detained, a woman. I don't know the specifics of the case, but she made bond, and they didn't want to release her, and so they filed litigation and they won that. So
I was going to ask about that, like just the law, the legal side of it all. We don't really talk about where the judges, where their voice or where their opinions are in this, which is a big part of it. Have you got any inclination or any, had any conversation with any of the judges on whether or not they will support any lawsuits or any legal challenges?
No, it's unclear. There hasn't been too many legal challenges outside of what the ACLU has been doing after the ICE situation here in Omaha. I know there's people discussing, legal remedies to address this McCook situation, but nothing that I know of is currently set in stone. But I know people are looking to what avenues to take to address it. But as far as judges, most people probably don't talk to judges, and you know, you hope that they be favorable, but we're in Nebraska, so
Right,
you got to stay optimistic and you just hope for the best.
man. Got to factor it in though. You got to factor that, that portion in.
yeah, I just put in the chat a link to the article, an article from ACLU that Senator Spivey was just mentioning about the case that they just won. Omaha mother challenges ICE detention after bond order in new lawsuit. So
Man,
you can check this out and read a little bit about what happened there. Like you said, there's not much more happening besides what ACLU has done, and the other article that we read earlier definitely pulled out some information about they don't even know when, how long they're going to detain these people for and everything. So
man,
yeah.
and man, again, the crazy part of it, I want to reiterate what Council or Commissioner Roger Garcia said in his post. Again, to continue to pretend like they are going after hard criminals, and yet it has come to light that none of the Omaha raid had criminal records, and that 70% of detainees across the entire nation do not have criminal records. The reality is that they are parents working to feed their children, community members that have been here for decades, fellow church members, neighbors, and essential part of our local economy and workforce, who, if they actually had a pathway to adjust their status, they most definitely would. So again, and that's another element of this whole conversation that we haven't really talked about. as far as just the pathway towards citizenship, and how many of these people are just wrapped up in red tape trying to work towards citizenship and having to put food on the table, eat while they're doing that, and just kind of caught in limbo. So again, very, very interesting aspect of it all.
Also, Miss Erica Felt, who's a friend of First Sky Omaha, is bringing up what's happening to their families, what's happening to their kids when they're being detained. So, lots to talk about here. Senator McKinney, I know you have limited time here. We wanted to jump a little bit into some of these 100 laws that Senator Ashlei Spivey posted recently. And we've been kind of going through this list ourselves, and I'm realizing myself about how many things are tied in with other things. It ain't it ain't 100 individual laws. It's like 100. One law has 3 or 4 different things that have nothing to do with each other and all kinds of stuff. It's incredible that you guys have had all these things to have to vote on and study and go in. It just really showed me. I was like, man, if they looked at all this stuff, then that's part of the job. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I definitely wanted to get your opinion on some of those ones. We kind of put it out to the chat a little earlier. Which one stood out to them? Miss Kimber Snipes said a few. How about you? What about you on that list?
I had a couple pass, LB-48, the Family Resource and Juvenile Assessment Center pilot. Y'all talked about the child support one. That was one I passed. It helps with, incarcerated individuals be able to reduce their child support while incarcerated, which is very helpful to reduce debt.
Man.
Dang, I'm drawing a blank because there's so many. Uh,
Real.
but it was a few other ones. Let me think. I don't know. I passed some in urban affairs. One got vetoed, the one with OHA, but also some other ones as well.
Which one stands out to you is you was kind of mad that it passed. You voted against it. You was hot about it.
Uh, Definitely LB 530. That was the worst one to me that passed this session because it affects our kids in a negative way. But it also had a bunch of other negative things in there that kind of got overlooked because of how drastic and how bad the bill was, especially from a juvenile justice perspective. That some things that were also bad got smacked in there too, and kind of got looked over and didn't have as much attention to it. I see a lot of people
I feel like we
complaining
just
about.
didn't have the capacity. It was like
Yeah.
Senator McKinney leading, and it was like we were so far into the juvenile justice, like there was no capacity to address anything else that was terrible.
What was some of the other ones? Now you got me curious.
They changed the speeding laws, so you going 1 to 5 over it. It's bad. It was some other stuff too.
They bundled that with the rest of the stuff with the detaining 9-year-olds and all that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Good morning, A-Son.
He said, "Right." He don't want to get this.
He feeling like he looking like I'm feeling right now. I didn't want to get up either. He get crying like, do I gotta get up?
Man.
But it was a good affordable housing bill I got passed out of urban affairs to deal with the middle income workforce housing program to make it more accessible for small developers that like Phil McLean and them. But also I convinced Senator Dover to throw something in there that I honestly thought they was gonna go crazy. It says like if somebody's gonna TIF a project because of a lack of affordable housing, they have to put at least 30% of affordable housing in that TIFT area. I really they could have not been paying attention at all, but whatever, it passed.
Wow.
But I'm sure they would have been mad.
That's crazy. I appreciate you. Mentioning some of those, man. I know you got to get out of here, so we'll save some of those for when you get back another time as well.
All right, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep. Peace.
Have a good one, brother.
Thank you.
Yep. Senator Spivey, I wanted to kind of address you on some of these. There were actually, when I looked out, there are a lot that had me thinking about you, especially some dealing with the domestic violence and women and those areas. Can you kind of speak to some of those bills that might jump out to you?
Yeah, so I sit on state tribal relations, and we passed a bill that would impact Native communities specifically, but really all women that are navigating or people that are navigating DV. And so there was a package that looked at putting signage up around human and sex trafficking. So what does that signage look like in buildings? There was not a fine put to it because of like over punitive consequences, which is like the one place they decided like, oh, we don't want to be punitive. But I think it would make a difference. Like look at the human trafficking and sex ring that just was exposed here in Omaha. So just again, like thinking about like, how do we have more awareness, making sure we start to address that. And then there was some money that was put towards DV services. And so they did this in the past legislature where they try to give them TANF funds, which are federal funds that are for a very specific purpose. It really should be around like direct income to folks that are like at the lowest income level possible. And so they try to reallocate some TANF funds, but because of like confidentiality and things that the feds are needing from in terms of information, the TANF funds didn't work. And so they took some money from the Medicaid Managed Care Fund to be able to put towards and replace those TANF funds from a previous session that were appropriated. And so, I mean, I think that there were some highlights. I don't feel like it was like I feel like we did good work. Like that's not how I feel. Like I don't feel like we did good work. I feel like there was a lot of defense that was played, and just like with Senator McKinney, like I spiraled with 530. I just couldn't believe what was coming out, and I'm on a 5-day committee for appropriation, so that's the only committee I'm on, and so I do see every agency in their budget. But I don't know the bills that are out until like they make it out of committee. And so Senator McKinney sits on Judiciary and he was like, y'all, this package. And I was like, okay, let me look it up. And I started like getting into it. And I was like, went to him on the floor, is like, what are we going to do? Like this cannot be the case. And so we just were like super in on the juvenile justice because the impacts it has to District 11 and 13. But there were like other things that we couldn't address because we spent so much time trying to negotiate that part of the package. They were like, well, listen, if we negotiate with you here, you can't touch this other stuff. And so we made a decision to really prioritize what we felt like was a really big negative impact to our community.
Well, let's kind of lean into that because there is, it is passed like that. That is a law that is coming. And, why was that aside from the detention age and, the things that we already talked about on the show? Why did you feel, that was such a, I guess, what did you foresee more so with this now becoming a law?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we have to recognize is the context of, so the state legislature creates the guardrails through statute, right? And a lot of times like lobbyists, like these paid folks that have clients bring bills on behalf of their clients. Some senators have bills that they want to do or like a point of view and vision for their community and state. But LB 530, the base of that was a vehicle by Senator Kathleen Kauth just around like bikes and like medical and cars and like cars driving reckless and like hurting bikers. So like that was the base vehicle. Other bills were attached to it, like 10 other bills to this, what you would call a Christmas tree. And the pieces that we had the most heartburn from were brought by Senator Merv Reapy and then Elliot Bostar. Elliot is a Democrat, and I think that's important to uplift that not everyone that's a part of your political party is value aligned on certain topics. But it was really pushed by Aaron Hansen and Don Klein. And so when we talk about what our role is and what we're able to accomplish, there's other people that are not necessarily policymakers in the same way that are impacting what we see and what's happening in the legislature. And so that's why this midterm election in 2026 is going to be so important because both of those seats are up. Yep. And we know that Don Klein and the way that he runs his office and his approach is the reason why we're seeing prison overcrowding in Nebraska, why we're seeing Black bodies more than any other population inside of that system. And we see the chaos that Aaron Hansen is causing across Omaha. And so I think, it's difficult when you have law enforcement using one example to change an entire policy and practice around how are we providing services for kids that are on supervision or probation, and they're not going upstream with the services. Like they're not saying like, Mommy, I want my iPhone in your house. Okay, baby, Daddy will get it for you. No. So they're not going upstream with saying like, this is why these kids are having these circumstances. Why are Black boys overrepresented? They're saying, oh, we're just going to react to what we say is a phenomenon that is really one case.
Mhm.
And then Aaron has used his lobby power and folks to get them behind this. We see what they do on social media. We see how the narratives that they paint. And so with 530 and this massive Christmas tree, like there's enhanced penalties for folks that have distributed fentanyl, whether they know or not, that they're like that it's inside of other types of drugs or illicit substances that now have harsher consequences. And so like, again, it's just like the speeding, like you're like a reckless speeder. If you're like 15 miles over, they're taking you to jail and impounding your car like it's a felony. Like it's just wild. And so I think that, and I've seen now on social media, folks like picking up on some of these bills, like, I can't believe this passed. And it's like, yo, like we need everybody to watch what's happening because we don't have enough value aligned people in the body to help tackle some of these things. And so you end up having to prioritize of like, what is the most consequential to our community? And then how do we address that? And so, yeah, so I see you posted. Yeah, the first one is around like the motor vehicle homicide, and they have the homicide of an unborn child. And they did, so originally that tampering with electronic monitoring device. So they originally had that as a felony. Right now in state statute, it's a misdemeanor. And so one of the things that they wanted to change it, if you tamper with electronic device, that it becomes a felony and you're already revoked off of probation. Like, no, like you're revoked. And it's like, what 16-year-old or 12-year-old is not going to mess with their electronic device? Like, you know, like, so why are we not just saying, how do we ensure the young people understand the consequences of that? Why? What are the implications of having a monitoring device and keep them on their program, allowing for them again to make mistakes because their brains are not developed. This is like part of the process of making sure that they get the resources that they need to be successful. And so that we were able to keep as a misdemeanor, but it was a fight. They were like, no, we want them to be felonies.
And I just want to kind of recap a little bit on this, just to get, you know, to make sure everybody's up to speed here on what we're talking about. It's right now it's 8:07 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, it's Senator Cypher. We're here with Senator Ashlei Spivey, and right now the discussion is based around LB 530. Just recently in Friends of First Sky Omaha, it was dropped the 100 bills that just passed. And she's talking about this one in particular. And Senator McKinney, when he was here earlier, said that as well. This is the worst one. This is the one that we've been talking about this whole time, about how they can detain 9-year-olds, charge 12-year-olds as adults, and so on. And this one is really interesting because now we're understanding how it works in there too, because they piled on a whole bunch of other things inside of this bill as well. Change provisions relating to, this is what the actual bill's title is saying on the site that we're referring to. Change provisions relating to motor vehicle homicide of an unborn child, tampering with an electronic monitoring device, which Senator Spivey was just talking about, controlled substances, substance violations, adult and juvenile probation. That's kind of what we were trying to fight against. Detention of juveniles, motorists passing stopped vehicles or vulnerable road users, and speed limits. All stuff that really kind of has nothing to do with each other, and in each one they really had to kind of go in and fight about in a big way, which is messed up.
And the reason why they can put that package together really quick.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The reason why they can put it together is because it came out of judiciary. So they feel like because it was the same assigned committee, even if it's not in the same place of law, that the topic is aligned and that it's germane. And so like, I just want to make sure people understand that, like, you see these Christmas packages coming out of committees because they were all seen by the same committee.
Right. And the one thing I just want to remind people about is that these are we have a body of lawmakers that are there, senators that are voting on these things. we can always go back and see who voted on what. And the thing that's tripping me out is like how many people voted for this enough for it to get passed, in the midst of this fight. And now the only recourse, only thing that we really have that we can try to do anything about this, since it is law, is, first of all, I'm sure in the future lawmakers are going to try to do something to circumvent this law, as far as the law is concerned. But also, this stuff is being perpetuated by people outside of the legislature. And according to Precious McKesson, we got this list that we're calling the sixth dismiss, that's Senator Precious McKesson had talked about before. And we can talk a little bit about what's going on with Don Klein for Douglas County Attorney. Sheriff Hansen is on this list as well. These are things, people that are going to be running in the race next year, that we can vote in or out. And that's really kind of the only recourse we have now, but also to really study this law and understand what we need to understand in order to keep everybody safe with that as well. So lots to it, and I just want to, for those of you, I need to keep it straight in my mind, like what's going on with this as well. I appreciate you explaining these things, because it's very frustrating. We've been hanging out with you guys and keeping up with you guys so we can learn how it works there. We're seeing firsthand, ain't liking what we seeing a lot of times, and that's what it is. So, buddy, what are your thoughts on it?
And I think it's confusing on purpose. And a lot of times I think folks get in office and they, whether it's on purpose or not, like they're just head down, and it becomes the ivory tower where I'm like, oh no, I know your secrets. I'm going to tell everybody. So now people know how to navigate it so that we can get community voices in a very different way. So,
yeah, I mean, it really has to be that. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking, what is the, I'm sorry, I kind of losing my train of thought.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, and that's the point. That's the point. I guess that's what I was kind of going towards. Like the biggest challenge, like it just, I'm really wrapping my mind around how much work it really entails. Like, have you even been able to get through all 100 bills? Have you looked at all 100 of those bills? Right. So
no,
that's,
I haven't. And then and the work doesn't stop. It feels like a nightmare
man,
every day. So so when you're in session, right, I'm in my committee, so I'm thinking about the budget, the deficit. Then you have stuff coming out of other committees that you're trying to sift through. And then you have your bills and other committees that you may be trying to look at. So then it's like you're really just like
yeah,
everywhere. And then when stuff gets to the floor, deals are made, or as Senator McKinney says, like some stuff sneaks in, or it's a late night and people are not at their desk. So you try to get so it's, you really have to be constant, and that's just in session. So when you're out of session, people are like, oh, this is a part-time job. And maybe for some people, but it's like for us, when things are really impacting our community, like we're constantly researching. So like I have interim studies. I've been researching my bills. I've been taking meetings. I've been looking at the implications of things that were passed. I'm like, did we pass that? When did that happen? Like, how did that get in there? That specific language, like it is so much. And so I think the folks that are like policy advocates, like a ACLU Nebraska, Appleseed, like people like that are helpful because they help navigate some of the negative things that sometimes like we're not experts in, but we need to know so we can run some defense. But I mean, it is a lot to wrap your mind around. And I think, again, like we shouldn't be passing things to be passed. Like some of these bills, like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we, and people a lot on the other side talk about government efficiency. And I don't think that's the case. They only talk about it when it's cutting social services and like our safety nets for people that are at different circumstances in themselves. So it's a lot to wrap your mind around. And I also feel like I appreciate spaces like this and what advocacy has been looking like, because I'm hopeful that we'll continue to build the capacity of our people, right, to engage. It's why I launched a C4 that is not associated with a party, right? Like we continue to have these spaces that will allow us to engage in a system that was built intentionally to harm our communities. Like, so that is the current system. I know from like an abolitionist framework, we would dismantle and reimagine. That's not our reality currently. So as we work towards something different, especially as our democracy is at this very fine turning point, like how do we engage in the current system that is now and allow for people to have their voice heard?
I hear that. Somebody trying to get their voice heard back there right now. So I'm not sure if you want to. Yeah, if you got.
Listen, he is mad that his daddy is getting him ready, and it's not me, and so he's just like not having it.
Well, we appreciate it, and we also want to respect your time. Just let us know anytime that you got to take off. I did want to jump into the chat real quick while you think about that. A couple people in the chat are chiming up. Shout out to Wanda Lewis. Good morning to you. She says Aaron Hansen is in opposition of everything in favor of youth incarceration and minimize the reality of homelessness. I hear that Kimmer Snipes says the caucus organization within the party should split them up and have committee going through them. But I was going to ask about if there was aides, legislative aides that are going through some of these bills and so on. Also, RG says what I'm hearing from Senator Spivey is that there are more handshake deals that happen down there than we all realize.
Yep.
Sounds like it's probably all handshakes. It sounds like to me.
Man.
Also, Wanda Lewis says navigation and manipulation. A lot of other people running for these positions are also lobbyists or has managed to campaign and manage the campaign of others and or has held several other positions.
Yep.
Some insights there as well. And then one more, actually a couple more. Shelton Shar had asked the question, can the senators share which ones that will impact our community directly? I forgot to ask that a little earlier, or indirectly. We're kind of talking about some of those bills that's impacting our community right now. And then last but not least, Linda Lathan, shout out First Guy Omaha. Man, First Guy Omaha squad is she's helping a lot with what's going on. She says it's inaccessible on purpose. That's exactly it. They need to redraw the fire exits evacuation exit plan and post them. Storm shelters planning would need to be revamped, etc. When you increase the capacity to a structure, it's a lot. I want to help apply pressure to them to make sure we know the rules for safety reasons, that the public understands they have rules to follow. They keep spewing this narrative that Nebraska wants this. It's sickening. I think this is when we were kind of talking about the overcrowding, the ICE detainees, and so on and so forth, and the how safe the buildings are. That Senator McKinney even reminded us that these things been through a storm. Some of them been torn down. So what are we doing? So I really appreciate everybody in the chat right there. And what say you, Senator McKinney? I mean, Senator Spivey, excuse me.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments, and even like going back, I know I kind of came in on the tail end as y'all were talking about the work at the camp and NSP, but Senator McKinney and I went to go visit on Labor Day just to get follow-up answers. So we went to NSP, and just like again, like we are requesting information from the leadership. They're not responding. We see it firsthand. So we're able to take pictures and try to apply pressure or have other groups apply that pressure. But the house is on fire, and it's been on fire. And so I think just all of the advocacy that people can do, whether it's just writing letters, like as we talk about things here, like writing letters to your state senator or the head of the agencies, to the governor's office, being in community with people to really understand. And so I think that it's a balancing act. And I know that it's difficult, especially when you have the experiences and identities of the things that you're fighting for. And so that's why our community connections are so important. So when I'm tired, I can tap out, someone can come in. When Buddy tired, all right, now you get it, like we are still taking care of ourselves while the work is not dependent on just one of us, right? Like we have that base. And so I think for me, like, I know we come on here and it's like not a lot of good news. We're like, hey, you need to know about all of these crazy things that are happening. I do think there is hope and community together that allow for us to still find joy, to still find abundance, and that we can tackle these things as a collective. We cannot do it individually. We can't just do it as senators. We can't just do it based on our, city council or mayor's office. And so I'm hopeful in that. That's what gives me a little bit of like forward thinking in light, as I know some of the conversations are more heavy that we talk about.
Definitely need that.
Yeah, we got to talk about it too, though. We can't shy away from the heaviness, because it is our reality. We can bury our head in the sand and do anything else. So if we're gonna talk about it, we might as well talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, we appreciate you coming on and doing that every time. For real.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like let my office know, like let our offices know, like if something is going on, even if you're not sure if it's something that we deal with, like, and if it's not, we'll direct you to the right folks. Like if we don't have answers, we'll let you know and how we can get them. You know, like I think just that open communication from community and keeping that pulse is what's really helpful.
That's what it's about.
If we can, I'm kind of thinking of a solution right now about legislative aids. First of all, do you have any? What's the process if somebody wants to be one? I'm just thinking about people that can come in from the outside to help you guys kind of do stuff like go through these bills or keep track of things. Put certain people on certain things. Is that how that works? I might even be saying the wrong title. What's a legislative aid do?
Yeah, so at the state's legislature, we get two positions, administrative aid and a legislative aid. And it depends on how people run their office, but your legislative aid, like in my office, for example, is doing research, helps to manage some of constituent communication. A lot of my AA helps me with that because we just get so many emails. But we also at the legislature have a research office. And so like when I want to learn more about a topic or a specific bill or all the things it touches, I'll put in the request to that legislative research office and they give it back to me and it's synthesized and I can better navigate what's going on. Because I'm not an attorney, it's not my area of practice. And so people feel like you have to be an attorney to be a policymaker. You don't. And so I think, so there's tools that can help like navigate of what is the impacts? What does that look like? And your legislative aid is a big piece of that. If you wanted to work as a legislative aid or an AA, those are posted on the legislature's website. And so they have a now hiring. And so it has like whose office it is. To me, that makes a difference. They say it doesn't, like, oh, if you just want to get your foot in the door, but I can't work for somebody that's not value aligned in that way. And so, but they have those posted. And then right now, actually, they have open applications for pages. And so it works best if you are a UNL student, but the pages are the people that like run and make copies and help with the administration, like when we're on the floor or get us drinks and all of that. And a lot of people start out as pages and then come back as an AA and then a legislative aid within the Capitol. And so for folks that are at UNL or know students that would be interested in this, like I think it's a really good opportunity to see how the sausage is made and get to know the legislature in a different way. And then can I add something to the comments really quick?
Sure.
So I sit on a committee. So I'm sorry, I'm talking about Tamika's comment around working on a meeting to address with probation around LB 530. So I sit on an advisory committee. They actually do have a plan in place. And so I've gone to visit DCYC with Senator McKinney. I sit on this advisory committee that's looking at 530 amongst other juvenile justice stuff. And there is a plan in place. The issue is that we don't have the capacity and it's an unfunded mandate. And attorneys and judges are starting to see some cases of kids that now can be detained and what does it look like. And so from a capacity perspective, it's harder on the court system and the judges to be able to make decisions to adhere to some of the hearing components and all of that. And so I would say that like as folks are thinking about organizing, please reach out to our offices because a lot of that we have started to already do. And we can have a different type of conversation than community, right? Like if we set up a meeting, people usually come. Like 99% of the time. And so like, I think it needs to be in coordination so that we are lockstep, so that community understands like what we're saying, we understand what community is saying, and then we can go in with the united comprehensive front as people are talking to state probation, which is really who is implementing it. And I think that's the difference. Like, there are some pieces that they may have wanted or agreed with, but they are just the implementers. The issue with 530 comes from law enforcement. It's specifically Aaron Hansen and Douglas County sheriffs. And so when you talk about changes in lobbying and who wants to see it a certain way, like I think there's an opportunity, whether it's through the empowerment network meetings or whatever, like how do we hold them accountable to change their narrative and approach, because they're the ones that are pushing this type of legislation.
Appreciate you, Tamika Renee, coming in with that. For those of you that are just listening, she said a little earlier, we are organizing a meeting with probation to address LB 530 in the juvenile justice piece. The bill has lowered the age and added 6 additional reasons to detain. DCYC was at a low of 76 because resources out in place has been working. We received our first 12-year-old last week. The numbers are sure to go up.
And when you look at DCYC, the young people that are being held are held on adult charges as well. And so when we talk about do kids, depending on their, like, how are they being charged, what is that experience, and then what are we doing, like they're automatically going to adult court again. That comes from Don's Klein office and how they're being prosecuted. Like, the juvenile justice system is so convoluted, and they were taking steps to be more evidence-based and address what we are seeing, I would say, are like core root issues, like going upstream. My predecessor worked a lot on that. Senator McKinney did before, and now it's regressive. And so, like, outside of just having a lower number, to me, that number is still high. It's over proportionate of Black boys specifically. Most of them are gun or violent charges, and they're being charged as adults. So to me, I've been asking myself why. And that's what I've asked all of these folks. Why is this happening? What does that look like? And I think we need to solve for that first, while in tandem trying to support the young people where they are, because now they have a potential case, right, that they're navigating.
Word.
Man, it has begun. The first 12-year-old already. And as Sister Tamika said, expected to go up.
Appreciate the work that you're doing, Sister Tamika, and I'm glad that you're going to reach out to Senator Ashlei Spivey's office. I really appreciate the work that you're doing, Senator Spivey. And
can I uplift one thing before I jump?
Please do. Always uplift everything.
Okay, so I have my interim study so I have a number of them. This is my first one that has been scheduled, and it's about skilled games. And so these are like, I feel like they are like slot machines. They call them skilled games, and a Supreme Court ruling said that they are not the same. I disagree. But this is what you're seeing popping up at every Mega Saver. Baker's on 72nd and Northwest Radio Highway, and Ames has like 8 of them there. They're at the tobacco shops. They're everywhere. And I think that they are predatory. And so I have my first hearing about that because I'm trying to further regulate how they are out in community, and especially the density and qualified census tracts or low income areas. And so that unfortunately is invite only. I can only have a set number of testifiers, but you can leave comments online. And so it is on the legislative website. Please go and give your experience of what you see. Again, I have a particular view, and so there may be some folks out there to support it. We're going to agree to disagree. And I want to figure out how can we make sure that it does not continue to prey on our community, and that we get true amenities in that help with economic security and sustainability. So
I got my grocery store is that one on that Baker's on 72nd. I walked in there one day. I was like, we got a casino in here now? What's going on?
I mean, and they're at like laundromat. So people were coming into the laundromat. Cause so I've gone to site visits and like just sat in and watch people. I've had my LA do that, my legislative aide. I've asked the chair of the committee that does the management and regulations of like casinos and slots to come out there with me. So I've done a lot of work on this. And people would just come into the laundromat just to come and play the game and gamble, in my opinion, and then leave. I have seen folks that have asked for cash in parking lots in front of these establishments to go in and gamble. And so I'm actually working with the Republican Jana Hughes out of Seward on this interim study. So she and I are partnering to address what we feel like is really harmful for skill games. Because again, you got to work across the aisle. In this body, they have a super majority, and so she and I think really have aligned perspective on this issue, and are working to try to make some changes for next session.
Go ahead.
Just throwing in, I can imagine that, being a similar sentiment. You said Seward, I'm thinking rural areas, just as much as low income, inner city areas, rural areas being preyed on with these kind of micro casinos, as Heather Williams is calling it.
And gambling is a sin too. So Republicans,
they love to use religion.
Jesus said, don't do it.
Listen, well, and the difference I feel like with casinos, you got to drive there. Like, there's not necessarily public transit that takes you in the same way. Like, that's an intentional drive. And with like the Gamblers Association, like when you're trying to get support, if you want to be put on a list, you can be. So then, like, if you are navigating and struggling with addiction and you still go and you put yourself on this list, they'll say, hey, you can't come in. So there's other parameters that help people that are navigating addiction as it relates to gambling, where in these spaces you don't. like, like it is a free for all. And so I think it spirals people that are navigating addiction, or again, it's just, to me, it's not an investment in community betterment.
Yeah,
So
especially people who are already that's, I didn't really think about it, but when you add in that the alcoholism of it, even if you're drinking, you get free drinks at the casino, but once you start to get a little too, they'll cut you off. But you got people who might be buying shooters, you know what I mean, might already be struggling with
absolutely.
another addiction of another sort, and here is yet another carrot on the stick, if you will.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I would be interested to see what bears out. My people from California and Vegas, so we've been dealing a long time on whether or not you can go and control yourself, and how you conduct yourself around gambling in general. I didn't realize it was something that people were concerned with here so much. But I guess now that some of the laws have changed and some of the casinos are expanding and some things are happening over here, that
Mhm.
it is the time to kind of go early in on addressing some of the addiction problems and some of the things that's happening in the way it affects the community right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I said, I come from a place that it was this long tradition. So seeing something change right at the beginning of it is very interesting to me, and who's chiming up. So I'm interested to see what your study bears.
Yeah, I'll keep y'all posted. And my husband actually brought it up because they offered to have one in Bestburger when we had a brick and mortar. And he was like so upset. And he was talking about it in the gas station off of 30th and Lake had one in there. And he would just talk about how people be in there for hours. I think somebody in the comment said it. And I was like, okay, babe, like, all right, like, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I hear you. And then I was like, oh no, I hear you. And now I'm all in, like, and so again, it's like community bringing up issues and like seeing it early on, and like, what is our role to address it? And so, and I think that there is a more dense number in our communities compared to others, as I've like traveled out to other districts and like part of Omaha. So I think that's again intentional, but we'll see what the hearing bears, and then legislation. I will have some legislation that I put forward in January in partnership with my colleagues. So
There you
Looking
go.
forward to it. Appreciate you. Well, thank you so much again for another great visit, and lots
thank
to
you.
think
I'm
about.
glad to see y'all. I hope y'all
Yeah,
have a good
Likewise.
week. To all the chat chimers too. So
appreciate you very much. Thanks for
all
joining
right,
us. We'll see you
bye
soon.
friends.
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
That
All
part.
right, see y'all later.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
There you go.
There you go. Another Senator Cypher in the bag. 8:31 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, I appreciate everybody that jumped in. And I appreciate everybody that commented as well. Linda Lathan in the chat, man, First Sky Squad said Nebraska is really going to start scrambling for money because of what's happening with our farms, and then MF's about to start feeling what they voted for.
Man.
So of course the answer is start locking up our black and brown babies and force us to bond them out. It's also a cash only bond system. Let's not forget about that. Yeah,
Man.
so her and I
Okay,
talked about this a little bit, man. We got to kind of address that and dig in deep about that cash only bond system that's happening.
that's heavy, man. Not to mention the work, man. Like again, this is a work ethic camp. So you're taking people who are already working, getting paid to work, locking them up, not sending them to whatever country they came from, but forcing them to work.
This is a work ethic camp. Maybe we're looking at the sentence backwards.
Man.
We got Andre Queen B Newton in the chat saying well spoken senator cousin. I like that. Some fam in the house. I appreciate that. Heather Williams says more micro casinos. People sit at them for hours. That's also what Miss Newton said as well. Wanda Lewis says I agree with that issue with the slots, because I've seen people panhandling and put it right in the slots. That those convenience stores are hustling for all ends. And I think about that too when she said there's a higher concentration of those games of chance, like RG says, machines of chance in our neighborhoods, just like there's a high concentration of liquor stores and a high concentration of fast food and a high concentration of a whole bunch of other stuff.
Man.
That is always a high concentration in our communities. So there you go. Also, Ms. Newton is saying slavery. Yeah, we talked about it. 13th Amendment. You're still a slave. You're in jail. So they're taking people off the street, taking people away from their jobs, so that they can put them in and do some slave labor, wage, all kinds of stuff that's still legal these days for them to do that. And as a matter of fact, I know somebody that's kind of going in on a little bit of a study on what some of them things produce. What companies out here buy products from prisoners that are making them for pennies on the hour,
Man,
and all that stuff, so that
man.
they can build a list on who next to target.
Remember, we were looking at that Cornhusker Industries, hospitals, churches, schools. They all got these prison couches. You know what I mean? There's this furniture that these prisoners are making. Is man, once you start to connect the dots, slavery.
Man, G. Miller Jenkins in the chat. During the Nazi takeover, they advertised concentration camps as work ethic camps. Remind me again how much has changed.
Man,
They use that's the actual language they use, is work ethic camps, and that's what we're sitting here talking about today.
I gotta look this up.
That's wild. Also, Andrea Queen B. Newton says, where can we see that list? Yeah, there was what was the name of that? You said it was called Cornhusker what?
Industries.
Yeah, a company, Cornhusker Industries. This is where all the stuff that prisoners make, and is items, furniture items, all kinds of stuff like that. And people, clients hit that list. We probably can send an AI to scrape and gather all the information on all the companies that are buying from these organizations that are producing these products. Definitely should check. So McKinney says it was the same with the check cashing places. Yeah, there you go. There's another one that's a big proliferation in our neighborhood is check cashing places, along with liquor stores and now machines of chance.
Yeah. Oh.
Interesting stuff. I appreciate everybody who's joined in on this, man. Just a reminder before we go to a break, that the reason why we're bringing this stuff up is because kind of our whole mission with First Sky Omaha and our whole mission, speaking with you, the community, is to uplift the community, especially the Black community in Omaha, Nebraska. And so we're always going to talk about the things that are designed to bring us down in our communities, and we're always looking for solutions on how to navigate those, deal with them if they're here, push them out if we can, and build something new. More importantly, build something that is for us to be able to take care of ourselves, some self-sufficiency, and also for protection as well. So
yeah,
lots of those things. Manager Miller Jenkins says our school chairs come from local incarcerated slave labor.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
It just breaks it down, man. Again, a lot of schools, churches.
Yeah. So if you like I said, people are compiling lists here to see about who to boycott, but it's so proliferated throughout our community. Like, what are you going to do? Boycott school?
It's the system, man. It's the whole system.
Yeah, systematic racism is the reason why the word systematic is part of that. It just is what it is. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey.
All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Really appreciate you joining us this morning. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B. Buddy to God.
Man, forgot about that beat.
Yeah, man.
I'm about to send that to call people.
Send it to me first. I want to tune your bass drum up.
I got you.
Yeah. A couple things. I like it, and I'm hearing something else. Appreciate everybody coming in, man. Anthony Rogers Wright is out in Africa, still posting. That's
Hey.
dedication for Sky Omaha dedication. He says, "Are there store owners who have these things in them, black, brown?" That's a good question. I think there might be one that I'm thinking of that might have some of those machines of chance inside them. Actually, two now that I'm thinking about it, that might be black owned. So yeah, good question to ask, and definitely talk about that, bring that out, maybe take a look at that, maybe go have a discussion. Mama Gawd in the chat says, I listened to Apple Podcasts yesterday that discussed rehab centers getting newly released inmates and putting them to work for free or cheap companies.
Man,
Released, still working for free. Wow. Pop says, I'm telling you, this administration is trying to turn us into a Hitler era country. And
you've been saying it. You've been saying it for a while, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, we just read an article about the administration trying to take away firearms from trans people, and somebody correlated that. Yeah, somebody correlated that to disarming people, the way the Nazis tried to disarm people first. Yeah, man. And not to mention, we haven't discussed it this whole show, but we had to talk a little bit about Trump saying that he's going to turn the name of the office,
man.
Yes, Department of War instead of the Department of Defense. He put this crazy apocalypse now post out saying go to war with Chicago. He had to come back and backtrack on that this weekend. Said he's not going to go to war with Chicago, but yeah, hot bro. Yeah, Linda.
Yeah, Linda. He man, hold on. It's not a proposal. It happened. Like, I've been seeing the image of them scraping the letters off the wall all weekend.
First of all, how ridiculous! Like, don't you got something else to do as president, bro? How ridiculous! We're gonna change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and then stand there like some kind of war hero, declaring war on our cities.
Not just our cities, the international community is taking note too. You know, countries are posturing like, okay, are they about to get aggressive? What does that mean?
About to get aggressive,
right?
They in the streets. We in the streets too. I don't know if you guys saw the march that just happened in Washington. People are making it known, and I often think to myself, like, what good is this going to do when I see that kind of stuff? One good thing that it does is show how many people's against this, and you can't deny that. You seeing them in the street, they in your face.
Man,
saying they against this, the statement there. I'm gonna let you look for that while I go into the chat real quick. Wanda Lewis says that's the only way people panhandling and loitering are allowed in the convenience stores is to spend money and play those slots. Security will enforce it too. Now that's wild. That's that's wild. They let them in they kick him out of the store any other time, but they'll let him in the store to play them slots. That is something else. Also, RG said the store that I referenced, the owner is Ethiopian. Okay. Let's see, what store did you reference? Did I miss that? Let me look up a little bit. Come back and let us know that again. I missed it. I'm sorry. Majid Miller Jenkins says causing the NRA to make a statement coming as close. Oh, I was like, who coming in here?
No, that's me. We ain't got no more guests.
Send the McKinney back. Causing the Majid Miller Jenkins causing the NRA to make a statement coming as close as they ever will to supporting trans guns owner rights. Right. Talking about you don't take guns away from trans people. Wanda Lewis says we have converted back to slavery. And so I think we converted back, it kept being slavery.
Right. It was sanctioned by the state and went into the prisons. That's all that happened. It got codified. It never went away.
Anthony Rogers Wright turns us into a Hitler area nation. USA has been a Hitler nation, right? Where do you think he learned how to treat Jewish people the way they did in the first place?
I mean,
it's a known fact that Hitler in that regime took the posture of Americans against black folks, against slavery, to build what they built for the Holocaust.
Man, not just that, but how the internet or how the interstate section. I mean, we're in the lanes of change, project. Well, I'll play the video in a second, but we're in the lanes of change, campaign project that we're in, and it's wholeheartedly inspired by how the interstate, plows through communities and how that interstate system was built is definitely connected to what's going on and what happened in Germany. And you know, the not only the mentality, but the actual military tactics that are used are shared. Point in case, same thing with Cop City and what's going on in Israel. Again, the playbook is the same. Are we paying attention? Are we paying attention?
There you go. Anthony Rogers Rice says, I'm glad he changed the name to Department of War. It's way more honest than Department of Defense. 800 bases around the world is not defense. RG said Department of War. What's the abbreviation? Dow Jones. Sound like something he do. Miller Jenkins says it's a play. It's a play letting us know what's coming. We are in a civil war currently, and we aren't acknowledging it. How long does it take to name a war once it's over? Mama Guy says because of the latest school shooting, all the school shootings over Buddy's lifetime, he has targeted trans. And yeah, this is the reason why they made remember I told you there was something about that trans person that just shot up the school, killed 2 people, and the way that the media covered it. And then very next week, I heard they were trying to take guns away from trans people.
Is that the Catholic school?
That Catholic school shooting, right?
Man,
trans person did that. Kimmer says, when I worked at Heartland Workforce Solutions, the Department of Labor had some tables and chairs that were made by prisoners that they used.
Yep.
Mama Guy said Department of War has not been codified into law.
Man, can we stop right there?
Sure.
Because I wanted to play this video because she said it's not been codified into law. It doesn't matter. You see them scraping. It's happening. They're scraping it. It's gone.
Whether it's codified in the law or not, he's already been on social media with this whole mess.
Man.
Yeah. Anthony Rogers right. Danny's Corner Store. I love Danny's and am hanging out with his brother later this evening. Otis. Okay, you talking about the store that has one of them machines in there? I'm not sure you bring it up. Linda says, I keep thinking the cameras are going to pop out like you're being punked, but nope. Yeah. That's what's happening right now. We're being punked.
Man, no.
we only wish we was being punked by what's going on in this country for real. Yeah, man. I appreciate this little 10-minute rant that we just went on because it kind of it sums up so many things that we're all watching and stuff unfold, and I like it. It's like we just all we sat around the room and and what about this, and then this happened. Now they're doing this crazy thing. It's just like the Nazis, but you know what I'm saying, like I love the fact that this is part of one of the aspects of the show I really like is when we can jump on to some things and plug them things in together. We're not just focusing on one story, one thing, Department of War instead of Department of Defense. We're tying it all together. We're creating this thread. And seeing where things connect and getting a bigger sense of what's going on. You get a fuller sense of what's going on instead of feeling crazy because of every little detail that's happening. You get a bigger sense of what's happening. Like Wanda Lewis said, or somebody else said, I think it was Wanda Lewis in the chat talking about, no, it was McKinney Miller Jenkins talking about war. It's a civil war. If we really want to think about what's going on, he has really declared war on our cities.
Yeah, on the people.
On people, right. So, I don't know if you guys saw this graphic. I'm going to try to find it, but declaring war on Chicago graphic that he did. And literally, let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, while you look for that, we kind of talked about the Supreme Court judge on Friday, warning of national police and who is that police going to be unleashed on. I mean, we already we've seen it. We know what it is at this point. But I did want to make a comment about about that 10-minute rant we just went on, and just something that's just so mind-boggling about it. Like, I remember when Columbine happened and just how just surreal and bizarre and just how shocking that was. You think back to when Columbine happened. Just how much of an anomaly that was. Yeah,
it was definitely huge.
Here we are now. We ain't even talk about it's been multiple shootings. Not just, man, just to acknowledge it, condolences to everybody involved, but the young folk at the school, but it been a few universities that have had incidents.
Yeah, it's become commonplace. It's interesting now that I'm in this news field realm, seeing which things are not feeling like news anymore, but are like
Man.
commonplace. It's just like, somebody robbed a liquor store, somebody shot up a school. It's all commonplace, feels like now, to where you don't even all the time bring it up. It's a trip. Let me show you this photo real quick. Oh no, of course it didn't. Man, tech is teching this morning bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna try to get it again, but you really got to see this graphic. To think that our president is getting on social media with these AI graphics, that it is surreal. It does feel very, very surreal.
Can you just share your screen?
No,
Okay.
I'm working it out. I appreciate it. Yeah, here's this thing. This apocalypse now. Trump declares a shy-apocalypse now. Chicago will learn why he calls it the Department of War and immigration crackdown. This is from our administration. This ain't something fan put together. Shy-apocalypse now. He had to come back. He had to come back this weekend and clarify. Even as much rhetoric, like people chimed up so hard on this one. Even Trump came back and was like, "Listen, I'm not saying I'm going to declare war on Chicago, but I am going to go in there and crack down on this immigration." Marla Harrison says 2025 playbook for real. Also, Majima Lajinga says we have been effectively desensitized to the murder of our babies. It's an actionable intention, a tactic of putting the responsibility on the victims. That's another thing that we've been desensitized. It's commonplace, not just school shootings, but shooting of unarmed black men is also commonplace. How many times this happened and we don't report on it every single time? RG says, yeah, man, I graduated high school a few years before Columbine, and the landscape of being a student in public school changed after that.
Man.
A student in public places, really. Linda says, right, let's not forget about the weirdo chimos in charge them. Weirdo chimos. Let's take the guns from the trans. What the F is happening? What that flyer is wild. I saw that and thought it was fake. No,
it's not.
It's really not. 8:51. If you believe in the concept of time, we are at that time of the show that we get ready to wrap up. And of course, you know us. We're gonna wrap with some Love Supreme before we let this play out all the way to the end of our show. With the narrative being this fool and this craziness that's going on. So I'm going to take RG's lead and say, on a lighter note, for those who are interested, the House of Afro Capes and Curls is hosting a cosplay workshop on the UNO campus on Wednesday. I appreciate you reminding me about that. Shout out to our partners that have House of Afro Capes and Curls. They get down with so many good things. It's crazy. I really, really appreciate all the work that Jade over there is doing. Cosplay workshop happening September 10th from 6 to 8 at UNO Barbara White's. That's 6400 South University Drive Road in Omaha. Definitely hit up the House of Afro Capes and Curls and see, find out some more information there. AfroCon is coming up, 2025 AfroCon. So they're starting early by saying, hey, let's have a workshop. They want you to dress up for AfroCon. This is your opportunity to get your superhero outfit on or whatever it is you want to do and come down to AfroCon, which if those of you don't know what AfroCon is, it's really the only black nerd gathering in the Midwest, really. She's doing it big, and it's an opportunity for everybody to get together, express themselves, celebrate, get down, talk about nerd stuff, comic book stuff, movies, and so on and so forth. Man, this was when Black Panther came out. This was hot. You talking about people dressed up as Dora Milaje and everything coming through here. So cosplay workshop is happening, so they can help you get your costume together to get ready for AfroCon 2025. Please go to House of Afro Capes and Curls and check that out in a big way. So appreciate that, man. And that kind of puts me in this mode to talk a little bit about, again, buddy, we don't want to take nothing away from your weekend. You sat in a legendary session with some legendary artists,
man,
T.I., Big Boy, Killer Mike, and got to see how the song making, well, you already knew, but got to see another version of how the song making process and stuff gets created. The creation, being swimming in creation is what I used to call it. When I'm not in the studio, I'm missing that in a big way. So I appreciate that you got to go and do that. And I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think the one of the only ways that we're really going to battle anything is by paying attention to ourselves and our art. Art gives us peace. Expression gives us peace as well. Expression can also be even more powerful. I just watched a little short documentary on Aretha Franklin,
Man,
and how the FBI had a file of 875 documents on Aretha Franklin. They were following her around everywhere she went, and it was only because she had the voice that could bring people together instantly, thousands of people together. And she, not just that, but she went around doing stuff. She went around helping people out, paying for people to get out of jail when they got thrown in jail for civil rights abuses. She marched with Martin Luther King. She did a bunch. So the FBI had a file on her, like, this is somebody who is pro-black and for the cause, and she got power. She got that voice that can bring people together, thousands of people on the spur of the moment. And any minute now she can turn them against us. And so they spied on her and kept the file on her too. It's crazy. And it just contextualized her song Respect. Like this, she did it because she was like, "You gonna respect us. You gonna respect us."
There you go.
So there you go, man. Lots to talk about. Continue on with some of the things here in the chat real quick before we get out of here. Marlon Harrison is saying, one thing I can say about Americans is that we are fighting back. There you go. From the judges to politicians to regular everyday people. So don't think Americans are just sitting on their butts. I think Americans can definitely do more, but I agree with you. You know, us learning what we're learning through alternative news, we're seeing more marches in the streets and in the whole world than mainstream media is letting you see in a good way. Kimmer says, I thought I saw a post today about the friend of Michael Brown who was with him being gunned down by the police this week. I didn't see that. Check it out. Hope that's not true. Yeah, I hope it ain't true either. Anthony Rogers Rice says Americans are not fighting back at all. We have no idea what old African proverb, when your house is on fire, there's no point in playing your tom-toms, actually means. Says we're too complacent, too comfortable, and very much unwilling to do what is necessary to get these shackles off us, and bad lawmakers' dispatch of quoting Malcolm is not going to cut it. Can't disagree, bro. I cannot disagree. Also, Mama God is talking to Linda, saying he's claiming due to gender dystopia as a mental disease that should prevent gun ownership. Talking about taking guns away from trans, and this is another reason why that Catholic church shooting, that trans person, they brought it out. All these letters that he sent to his mom about he made a mistake turning trans, and so on. Like it wasn't just a person who made this decision and they became trans, and now this is how you need to address them, and so on. I actually brought it out that he was sending letters to his mom, like, "Mom, you was right. I shouldn't have did this." Like he was suffering, like they were suffering from having turned trans, and so on and so forth. And so now they try to act like this mental illness, and now they shouldn't have a gun because they're mentally ill, and pushing that whole narrative. So it's unfortunate, but it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. Magic Miller Jenkins says, I agree. We need to change our lives to impact global change. Being comfortable is no longer an option. We ain't even comfortable, bro. There ain't even no being comfortable. We're not comfortable. Appreciate everybody's comments here. We got about 3 minutes left in the show. Buddy, what's on your mind? I see you in deep thought. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching the chat. I know, kind of in the thick of it. I know you're trying to leave this thing on a more high note, but where the people are. Definitely appreciate the comments that you mentioned. Let your mind be free, let your voice be heard, and we will continue these conversations. As Paul mentioned earlier, we do not have a show on Wednesday, so we'll be back on Friday and figuring things out. In the meantime, of course, look out for the weekly wrap at the end of this week. But of course, as always, continue the conversation in between shows on Friends of First Guy Omaha. Continue, sharing things that you see. Again, a big appreciation to a lot of you chat chimers and ghost listeners. Continuing the conversation. Of course, if you don't know, a lot of the articles, a lot of the topics, a lot of the things we talk about and address here on the show do stem and come from Friends of First Guy Omaha and some of those conversations that you are having. So we are paying attention. We are engaged in those conversations, and we hope to keep it going. So again, we appreciate you all for your support here. A big shout out to Senators Ashlei, Spivey, and Terrell McKinney for stopping through. As always, for the Senator Cypher, again, we are working on getting other senators in for the Cypher. If there's a senator in your district or area that you would like to hear from, you have some questions you'd like to bring to the Cypher, let us know, and we'll reach out, try to make that happen. But in the meantime, again, I know you're trying to leave it off on a high note, so I'll say this. We are very, very close to actually dropping some of the first videos of our Lanes Up Change campaign. And again, the idea is to break down what is your lane, what is an area where you can start to effectuate change in your life and the lives of others, especially in a time where it seems like so much is going on around us and things are so important that you have to get up off the bench. But where do you go? What do you do? What role do you play? So again, hopefully this Lanes of Change campaign helps you figure that out. And even if you are in the game, if you are boots to the roots in the trenches, if you will, maybe even helping you get more of a clearer view on where it is that you are strong in and where you can also, because a lot of people are feeling actually more than one lane. So again, big shout out to those who are already doing the work, those who want to do the work. Look out. Again, the content coming to YouTube. Make sure you like, share, subscribe there. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
One of the lanes we talk about is strategic communication, and shout out to people like Marlon Harrison that are walking around with a mic, man, getting into the game, sharing information, talking to folks, and writing articles, and so on and so forth. It's all about the news gang. It's all about Content Creator Camp. It's all about Friends of First Sky Omaha. I'm really proud of the work that you're doing over there, Brother Harrison, if you're still there. Marlon Harrison, hanging in there, doing the thing. So definitely props to you and everybody else, and Miss Erica Felt, everybody else who's been part of this thing. I'm thinking about Brother Vince over there at Documenters as well. There's a lot of people that are doing some good work, and we're going to be rounding them up and celebrating them a little bit on October the 18th. So definitely save the date there. We'll be talking about registration coming up very soon at the first inaugural First Sky Omaha Fun Fest fundraiser celebration. There'll be some details, some registration, and some ways to donate coming up very soon. And I'll be looking for invites as well for some of the people that are in this realm of the news gang situation that we're trying to put together here, citizen journalism and actual journalists, mainstream and alternative. And we're going to put some things, try to get everybody in the same room so we can really kind of get on the same page about strategic communication. And this will be our first one that we're doing here for finally the First Sky Omaha Fun Fest, inaugural Fun Fest fundraiser celebration coming up very soon, October 18th. Appreciate that very much. Also, before we get out of here tonight, if you ain't got nothing to do, man, I would say come down to the Slowdown, check out Marcy Yates. He's on his kickoff tour. Getting ready to go on tour. He's got some heavy hitters coming with him. Jay Crum, Eddie North, JC is happening tonight at September at the Slowdown. You know where the Slowdown's at. Come on through. Tickets are pretty cheap, man. Just come on through and later on tonight and see something, see a good show, and get hit to some good music that's happening in the city.
Man, support,
and it'll be a nice little send off for him to do his Midwest tour coming up as well. Also, don't forget tickets are on sale for Spike Lee coming to the Holland Performing Arts Center via film streams for Feature 9. You don't want to miss this as well. But tickets are on sale now. Go to Film Streams and get your tickets, and make sure you check out Brother Spike coming to town. Huge. Just watch Higher and Lower over the weekend. It's one of my favorite movies this year.
Oh, you checked it out?
Checked it out. I was very impressed. Very impressed. It's already on streaming.
Oh, okay.
Just like that. Yeah, definitely check out his latest film and all that good stuff. And yeah, man, that's kind of what's going on here is that we're trying to survive with everything that's going on as well. There's going to be people in lanes that are going to do more when it comes to action. There's people in lanes that are going to do more when it comes to political power, like we just talked to the senators about. And everybody has their lane, and the only way that we can get together is by recognizing and respecting each other's lane, and what it is that we're doing, and also being sure about what it is that we're personally going to do, what our personal lane is as well, and figure out how those lanes can get together. Everybody doesn't have the same temperament and the same spirit and the same ability that everybody else has, so we depend on everybody else to be able to get together side by side like lanes on a freeway. Cut through the noise just like the 75 cuts through North Omaha. That's what we're doing. Kimmer says, I forgot to bring up the OPPD meeting we all had with Senator McKinney on Friday. Let's hear about that.
Yeah,
most definitely. But for now, we're going to get out of here about 3 minutes over already. So appreciate that. RG says, so Wednesday, I'm going to have to get up and go straight to work instead of turning it into the show and delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
Yes, once again, no show on Wednesday. We'll put some documentation out on First Sky Omaha, the group page, and everywhere else. In order to remind you, no show on Wednesday. Good time to catch up on some older shows, though, if you want to. They're all over there on Facebook and YouTube. You all right there, buddy?
Man, I'm tired, boss. Tired. Catching up. We can't catch up to me.
Yeah, we're trying to get. We got on time. We'd have missed that yawn right there.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was a real one.
Bob says a banger of a show. Love to see it. I'll see you all on Friday. Appreciate you once again. No show on Wednesday, but we will have a special guest on Friday and have another banger of a show. Really, that's what's up. Mama God said ready to volunteer for event if needed. Mama God, thank you very much for that.
We'll reach out.
We'll definitely be reaching out. Cousin says, thanks, another great show. Appreciate you, cousin. You becoming a regular chat chimer on here. I love that.
Stick around.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it. Shout out to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to our chat chimers allowing us to speak with you. We appreciate all of your comments. We appreciate all of your activity and all of the research that you do as well to bring us some facts on some of these things that we are talking about and some reading between the lines on a lot of these articles. And also just the sense of community that you guys come to. And we do have a community, whether we agree or not on everything all the time. It's not even the point. Like, it wouldn't even be fun if we agreed on everything all the time. It's good to have some lively discussion and bring some different viewpoints out. And I really appreciate that everybody that comes here does it with respect, and that's what we're all about. That's how we make some progress. So thank you. We appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Again, no show on Wednesday, but we will see you on Friday. In the meantime, between time, take care of yourselves.
Peace. Man, RG.
By the way, Vanglorious.
Wait, what happened? What was you going to say?
I was just saying, RG, hit the nail on the head. If only you knew.
What you say? What he say?
He says, buddy got that stank on your sleep syndrome.
Hey. All right, we're going to get out. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we're going to get out of here for real.
Yeah.
Because Anthony Rogers Wright going to have us going back into a discussion, but we got to get out of here. So.
Yeah, it's Friday, y'all. Friday.
Shout out to the motherland. I appreciate you coming in from the motherland, brother. Take care of yourself out there. I can't wait to hear your reports from the motherland. We'll see you. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red